Hi, this is Neil Walters of Neil's Videos, and I'm doing good on my recovery from my hip replacement. And this week we're going to be making Cabernet Sauvignon wine for the Townstar game. This is something I haven't made in probably about a year, and I think I only played wine actually maybe 2 or 3 times ever. So it was definitely worth a few hours for me to review. And this is my bill of materials chart. What does it take to actually make 10 bottles of wine? So let's get into it. Your wine is made in a winery, and I'll show you how to build these buildings here if you're new to this. And you need 5 Cabernet grapes, which are crops grown in the field, and they will need a little bit of wood to grow them, which is kind of weird, and then 2 waters, I guess, for the fences for the vines, right? And then, just by the way, complexity is pretty easy. Like if you go back and compare to shrimp pizza, see how complex this one was. Well, I think this is a lot simpler. You have a lot fewer items. And if you look at over here, like how many items you need to make, like this one had quite a few items, whereas cab wine is just, it's really just like a dozen items or so. And you need lots of lumber and energy and water. But it's pretty easy, really. So, but there'll be things that you may not have seen before. So to make wine bottles, you have to have a glass factory. And the glass factory is going to use these metals here, chromium and limestone and silica. And it mixes those to make a bottle, an empty wine bottle. And then the empty wine bottle will go into the winery and they'll fill it with grapes and make wine out of it. So you need a silica mine, which, by the way, you need to put near a sand area or an ocean to get the green timer. Otherwise, you're going to need a bunch of those. So if you get it in the green timer, which I hope they fixed the colors of the timers by now, then you should be able to make silica in like 20-30 seconds, and you should only need maybe 2 or 3 of those. Otherwise, you might need like 9 or 10 of them. The chromium and limestone mine, this is where you're going to have to squeeze in as many as you can. That's going to be one of your challenges, is to make enough grapes and chromium and limestone. So I think they're going to give us I can't remember, I think they're giving us a mountain border. If they give us a mountain border, you're going to build a regular mine. If you don't have a mountain border, you will build a shallow mine. Shallow mines do run slower, but the requirements are about the same. They use lumber, energy, and water. And actually here I should say water drums, not just water. Okay, let me fix that. The water drums are made in the water facility. And there are some new ways to make water with some of the new NFTs that were sold in the last few months, but like aquifers and things like that, but I did not get any of those. Just the warning is you don't want to build ponds over by your mines, because the theory is it floods your mines and then it actually slows them down and gives them a red timer. So that's why it's better to make the water in a water facility further away and then let the guys carry it over there to the mine, unless you have one of these fancy new tools for NFTs. So you will need lumber and energy. So you want passive energy. You probably want your power plants or nuclear plants to power your mines. And it'll be up to you if you decide you want to go through the extra trouble of doing nuclear. Then you have your barrels, of course, oak barrels. Okay, so that doesn't always make sense to me. If your wine's in a bottle, then why do you need a barrel? But anyway, you take a wood barrel, and that comes from a lumber mill. So you're probably going to need 2 lumber mills, one constantly making lumber and one constantly making oak wood. And you need one making lumber and one making oak barrels. You'll need an oak. You need lots of oak trees to support this. And then you'll need an iron mine as well. So you're going to have 3 regular mines, chromium, limestone, and iron, and then the silica mine is kind of like its own little creature. It's a little different than the others. And so you need iron and energy for that. And so that's how you make an oak barrel. And we'll just demonstrate all these here. We'll actually make at least one wine before I probably finish this video. So what I did is I went to one of my older towns that was still alive, and I kind of killed what it was doing before. It was making shrimp or something like that. And so I've kind of rebuilt pieces of it. I still have money coming in over here from my candy canes. And since I have 9 million, I believe I could just eliminate that right now. Here I have built my 3 regular mines, and I put them up here because I want them to be near the power plants, right? Because the power plant will give you 4 energies. And if you go across the street, count down, that's 4 and then 3. And so these only need, how much do they need? If you did craft, they only need, oh, okay, chromium and limestone need more energy than iron does, interestingly enough. Okay, so you want those closer to your power plants. And so one power plant won't give enough energy for both of them unless you would actually build the power plant between them. But again, the problem with that is your power plant needs to be by a water, and the water can flood the mines. So again, you kind of end up with a catch-22 there. So here, I'm going to make these two. Let's see, that's my furthest one away. It would be iron. So let's see. If you actually click on the kind of like the road area there, there you go. So see, it says I'm making, let me pull that down. I wish they would lower that. So we're making $200 a minute. That's gasoline. Sorry. Shallow mine, $100 a minute, mining iron, 1 lumber, 1 energy, and water drum. So these are my water facilities over here. And you want them to be by 2 ponds to get the most water out of them. And the water will be stored in a warehouse. And actually, you see right now, I'm actually probably, my warehouse needs to be emptied a little here. Because my energy is filling it up faster than the water is. So that is always a little bit of a balancing act. I might want to move this warehouse like up here. No, actually, I might want to move it closer to my water facilities. But anyway, you'll see how that works. But for right now, I'm going to say I can either sell or flush all my energy. So I'm going to sell, I can only sell 10 at a time. So I'll sell 10 of my energies. And unfortunately, when you sell something, it doesn't pick which one you sell it from. So luckily, it did get it from that guy right there. That's a NFT storehouse. It holds 60 items. Now here I want to start crafting my chromium and my limestone. And I'm going to get my other truck selling. Oh, there's the truck's back already. I'm going to sell another 10 of those. Probably go ahead for another 10. I want to get it like half empty. What I can do here is, this guy is making almost an infinite supply of energy. I'm going to temporarily turn him off. I may have to set a timer to remind myself to turn him back on later. He's getting his petroleum from the crude oil from this NFT here, and he's getting his, he has a power plant, so that's really all he needs. He can just make batteries by himself. Okay. So now we watch these two guys, and they should start doing their thing. We're waiting on the 2 water drums. And I'm probably going to need, I'm guessing, 4 water facilities up here. That one's waiting on water too. And let's see what the waters are waiting on. Oh, I didn't start them. So water facilities have to actually be started because they can make more than one thing now. Used to, I think they only made water and they would automatically start. Now they can also make ice if you have the coolness available. And so that was my problem. I was not making actual water drums. Okay. See, I've got them positioned on, they have to be on a road, and they don't cause any shade, which is good for your crops. They need to be by a road, and then they need to touch 1 or 2 ponds. So like this guy here, does he have enough water? Let's watch it finish. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. And yeah, see, automatically he fills up 3 out of 3 water because he's getting 2 from this because it's diagonal and 1 from that one because it's 1 square away. Okay, so just recently I built these ATVs here, and I think they should have really been further down because I'm probably going to want to put all of my power plants on this row eventually. So again, this is just kind of a brief practice for me. It's the day before the real game. And I just want to remind myself, like, what are some of the issues that I will face in the real game since I haven't done wine in over a year. The next thing I want to do is let's go ahead and build a glass plant. This guy seems to be stuck. See that paved road there? So either I don't have lumber or wood. 50 wood. I have how much? 17 lumber. So sometimes the game does get stuck, unfortunately. Fix the bugs, people. And let's back out and come back into it, and that road should get built. Pretty sure a glass factory needs a paved road. If it doesn't, even if it doesn't, you should probably have one there. So I'm on the casual play server. And it says it's only good for, well, I guess it's got 7 days left, but this is the town I built. Seems like 2 or 3 weeks ago that's still there. So it's nice not to have to build the whole town from scratch. And I don't think the roads are the way they're going to be for the actual, not the roads, the borders are not the actual for what they're going to be tomorrow. If I maybe abandoned my town and restarted it, I might get the new borders, but again, I don't want to spend that much time on it today. So now let's check this out. What is it waiting on? I think it's just given up. Oh, it's actually building it now. Okay. Building. It should show, oh, there it is, 36. No, it should show us a timer, how many seconds until it builds it. Okay, well, we'll put the glass factory right here instead. So let's go. Glass factories are not cheap. That's why, thank goodness, I had the $9 million city cash left over. You're going to go to the industrial section, and there's your glass factory. Oh, they are cheap. I'm sorry. I thought they were a lot more than that. So they're only 100,000, but notice they're going to use iron ore to actually build it, and then they're going to use the other irons to actually make the glass. Okay. So you're going to have 2 iron ore to begin actually building this guy. Oh, and I still hate that when I get my buildings off alignment there. I want to make sure I'm equally on that green square lined up. There we go. Now I did build a second lumber mill right here. So this one is building lumber, and then this one I'm going to start cranking out oak barrels. Right now I think I have them both doing lumber. Okay. So either one of them I can now switch to oak barrels. And also thankful to my previous version of my game, I have an oak storage over here full of 60 oak. So I'm not going to have to wait a long time to get my oak made. Now in the real game, I would not put that oak there because I'd want that power plant to be across the street from a mine. So I would rearrange totally how my town is laid out here. But I like the idea of having this power plant on the mountainside, if there is a mountain, so that it can power the mines over here. I noticed I have not built any ranch houses either, but that's not really pertinent to much of what we're doing today. So here are 2 silos. Let's see what we got in them. Okay, I already got 11 Cabernet grapes. Remember, I need 5 grapes to make 1 bottle of wine, so that'll get me started. And then here I also have 9 Cabernet grapes, so actually we're off good with the grapes. We might need more later. I'll show you what they look like down here at the bottom of my screen. So in this town, I had a river at the bottom, so anything I was trying to grow, I wanted on the river, but not close to the salt. And so these little scratchy looking things are the grapes. And if you want me to build one real quick, we can. Just go to farm. And remember, there are actually 3 types of wine. We're building Cabernet Sauvignon. So that's Cabernet vines. We click here. And to build them, it's going to take, I think, a couple of wood or lumber here. 1 lumber to even build it. And then it's going to take 2 wood and water to kind of keep it refreshing itself every cycle. Okay, so what I'll probably do off video is start killing all this sugar stuff that I have for my candy canes, because I don't think I need that at this point. I still have milk cows, which are for making, well, they were for making butter, but right now I don't need those either, so I'll get rid of those. And oh, here's our glass plant, so that's why I wanted to get that built so I could show you. And what's going on here still, this little guy, paved road just is not working. Cancel that. Let's build a regular road and upgrade it again. Now, I do have this thing here called the Sphere of Hope, which cancels out the pollution from the refineries onto my crops here, which is nice to have. Also, the express truck and the storage tank here cause pollution. So none of that pollution is affecting these crops. I think it goes for length of 5. So it's pretty much covering this entire area here. So let's make our first bottle for, not a wine, well, it's a wine bottle, but it's an empty one. So here we're going to say craft, and your choices are molten glass and wine bottle. Molten glass was used in some of the Christmas stuff, like the little Christmas bulbs. But anyway, right now we just need a wine bottle, and you can see it's a 3-1-1. Oh, and I haven't done my silica yet, so we're going to have to go build a silica mine, 1 chromium and 1 limestone. So you see over there on the left side, we just started making these because remember I had no water drums. And so now if you check this warehouse here, we do have now 1 iron, 3 chromium, 1 limestone, etc. And you can see we might need some more warehouses because even though this is a warehouse that holds 60 items, it can get pretty full because we have all these different things to put in it. Now I'm going to, don't think I need this worker house right now, so let's get rid of him. I'm looking for a place for my sand mines, and since, oh, actually, so they say the trick is if you put the sand mine by the salt, they'll run faster. So let's go ahead and get rid of, let's just do this bottom right corner here. I put a lot of, I was really short of wood a while ago, so I built a bunch of lumber jacks just till I got over that shortage. And then I need to build more logger houses, of course. So right here, let's do a silica mine. So we're going to go to industrial and look for a silica mine. It's not shaped like the other mines. These are your iron mines, by the way, will also build chromium and limestone, those type of things. But the silica mine looks more like a pump right here. Actually, it's a sand mine, they call it. So we're going to put him, 2 of them probably, 1 there. Down here, 1 there. And it's probably going to take about 3 wood, so we'll come back in just a second on that. Just to show you the difference in speed, let's put a silica mine up here as well. Now the silica mines, I think they're going to need water as well, but not water drums. No, sorry, they need energy, not water. So by having them over here, we're going to have to carry our energy batteries to them. But look here, we do have a warehouse right beside them, which is nice. And he has, I think, he's actually empty on his energy right now. So they're going to have to walk over here to get their energy, which is not a good thing. However, watch this. Okay, I'm going to get rid of my, just one of these guys here. And this Tesla coil will make energy, but he needs a worker house to carry it. So there's a worker house right there. So these guys, the candy canes, they use up 5 energy, which is quite a lot. So now this guy's going to create enough energy probably. Since that warehouse is empty, watch this. I'm going to go ahead and actually return it. I'm going to kill one of these even though it's already built. With your NFTs, you can return them. And I'm going to reload it right beside the sand mine, and I'm going to put it between 2 sand mines. So, I'm on this screen looking for my Tesla coil. Solar wind or solar, what's it called? Solar panel would do similar. And then now I'm going to, oh, there's a quick buy at the bottom. You can see it. I'll put one right there. And then there is a worker house. He's pretty close, but I might want the worker house like right next beside it as well. Now let's check the timer on this one already. So he is waiting on 2 energies, and then let's see how fast it actually makes it. Okay, so he's getting 1 energy passively. And then the other energy he's having, oh, I lost my warehouse. I need to restore that as well. So here we go for the big warehouse. I didn't lose it. I took it off a few minutes ago. See, every time he gets a battery, he will take it and stick it in the warehouse now. And then the sand mine, I think the same worker will carry it to the sand mine. Okay, so 20, looks like 25 seconds, maybe 30 to make silica. Okay. If you look over here on the left, behind these black refineries and stuff, it says ready, so he just took one out. He's waiting on his second energy. And see, it's now taking, it's going to take a minute, almost 2 minutes. So it's 3 to 4 times slower to not have it on a sand area, which includes oceans. Okay, I just want to make sure you understood that. So right here, I'll remove him, and I'm going to get a little bit of. There's a power plant there, so we go 4, 4, 3, 2. He's going to get 2 energy passively from that power plant. So I'm going to put a sand, not a sand mine, but a shallow mine there. And you're going to need a lot of lumber to build these, a lot of lumber to keep them working. You also need to have a paved road when you build a shallow mine or a regular mine. And I do have 11 lumber right now. For a while, my wood was getting overrun here. My oak storage was full, and at one point it actually put the extra wood here, which I prefer it not to be there. Let's see, I don't think this guy's anymore there. So back to, there's our glass factory. I see him blowing smoke, right? So he's making a wine bottle. I don't remember how fast it was, but it looks like maybe 45, 60 seconds. And we just got a bottle now coming out, and I believe the bottles are going to be stored in a warehouse. So again, another reason you're going to need lots of warehouses. So look over here in this warehouse, we do have 1 wine bottle. Now I believe we're carrying the second one over there to it. Maybe? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that was the first one. And now we're waiting on chromium, limestone, and silica. Now, think of the time he's going to have to take to go get his stuff. To get the chromium and limestone, he's only going to have to walk 4 or 5 spots to get to this warehouse here. But to get the silica, even though we're making the silica 3 times faster over here, that poor worker has to walk like 20 squares over here to get it. So ideally, we would want that a little bit closer if you can figure out how to optimize that when you build your town. So we have 2 silica there, and he's waiting on 3. Well, he's waiting on 2 of them right now. I just want to show you this again. We'll check the timer when he actually starts, if we're fast enough to catch it. I think we do have our chromium and limestone over here already. So the only time you need iron ore, I think, oh no, it's 2 things that need iron ore. When you build the glass factory, you need 2 of them. But now when you're making the oak barrels, you're going to need one iron constantly throughout the whole game. So you're going to have to leave one of your mines making iron. And that is mainly for the oak barrels. And so the oak barrels will be stored also in the lumber yard. Let's see. Where do they get stored? I have not done oak barrels in about a year either. This is again why it's good to review the game. Oak barrels are stored in the warehouse. That surprises me. Okay, so I already have 10 oak barrels. So I might want to put a resale or an auto sell on that because I don't want too many of them piling up, right? So every time we add new products, be sure to set your auto sells. And of course, good number. I usually like 12 or 13. That means I keep 3 and I sell 10, something like that when I have certain items. Now, to actually make wine, we are going to need a winery. So that's one reason I was trying to get this little road paved a while ago. It's a little road that didn't want to be paved. Now it looks like it's going to get paved. I'll pause the video a second. And I'm also reviewing in my mind, trying to kind of memorize the wine bottles do not need energy for whatever reason. It's kind of seems odd. So no energy is needed. So I put the glass factory there kind of close to my refinery, and we'll find out here in a minute if a winery needs energy, which I can't remember if it does or not. I know I just did the flow chart again, and I could go look at that, right? So wineries, I think I'm trying to remember. Are wineries on the industrial screen, or are they on the farm screen? I think they're on the farm screen. I think sometimes their logic of where they put their buildings is like nonsense. Like a bakery, to me that's kind of industrial, but yet they have it on the farm screen. So if we go to the bottom of the winery stuff, bottom of this, there's your winery. It's $1 million. I have plenty of money, so let's build it. And I'm just gonna gamble and stick it right here. By just this little bit of practice I'm doing today, it'll make my real game better tomorrow, so that I know more likely where I should put my buildings. Of course, you can look up every single thing in the TownStar Play Guide if you want to. It's just kind of bored doing that after a while. So what do we need to build the winery? We need 5 lumber. It's about the same as a logger house, actually. Okay. I'll pause. Now, even though the sphere of hope here is not causing any pollution, this is causing shade. So it's going to slow down my crops here. But since I'm not making candy canes anymore, guess what? I don't need these crops anymore. I will start getting rid of them off video. Okay, my winery is already done. And we click on it. There should be 3 types of wine I believe we can make. Craft, we can make Pinot Noir, Cabernet Sauvignon, and Chardonnay. So this week we're making Cabernet, Cab for short. Remember, you need 5 grapes, 1 wine bottle, which is an empty bottle, and then 1 barrel, oak barrel. So we should have our first bottle of wine here made in just a few minutes. Ooh, he's pricey. He's $2,000 a minute. So keep that in mind on your worker wages over here. The more wineries you have, you're going to need a lot more income coming in. But of course, you'll be selling the product that makes the money too. So I think this week it's all going to kind of wash out for us in a good way. And eventually what I'll do here, he needs no energy either. So I can't put mines in the middle of my screen. The mines have to go on a border. I take that back. The regular mines, the sand mines you could, but these type of mines have to be on the border of your town. So unfortunately, I can't get the energy by putting one here. So even though these guys don't need energy, they're positioned in an energy hot position right now where I am getting passive energy even though I don't need it. So next time I really wouldn't probably put them exactly here. Go ahead and build another road though. Build a paved road next to a paved road. Or build it next to a wood road, dirt road. Yeah. Ah, misaligned. And I'll go ahead and pave this because I want them to be able to deliver the product as fast as possible to the nearest warehouse. Let's check how much water I have here. Water drums. Okay. None. So that's going to be draining me right now. So you're always going to have to look at what your critical resources are. So 2 water facilities are not going to really cut it. It looks like they almost are, but I probably want to have at least 1 water drum sitting in my warehouse at all times here. So let's come down here. We don't need my cows anymore, so we'll send them back home, return them to NFT land. Let's build and start at least 2 more water facilities. Those are on the industrial tab. Down toward the bottom under the W's. And the other one can't go here because there's no road there. What I might do is rearrange my, well, now that I don't have the animals, I don't think I need the grain here anyway. So I'll build another paved road right here. Doesn't have to be paved, but better since I'm further along in this game here. You always want your roads to be paved before your game is usually in the second or third day. My first wine has been made already. Right there it says we got 1 minute 31 seconds, but we could check the warehouse here. Might have had, yeah, we've already got, oh no, 3 wine bottles. Just remember, a wine bottle is not a bottle of wine. It's an empty glass bottle. So we are still waiting for my first actual Cabernet wine. And it looks like the time to make it was about maybe 3, 4 minutes. So kind of a slow process. I'll pause the video. Now let's check it here. We're waiting on another oak barrel and some more grapes and so on. And let's check over here in our inventory warehouse. Slightly off again here where my cursor needs to be. Okay. Why don't I see it? Another warehouse? Hmm. Could be over here, but I doubt it. Let's check. Ooh, that's not good. Oh, storage. Maybe it's in the storage. I've forgotten. Again, this is why I said I haven't played it in a year. Okay, there you go. Wine is stored not in a warehouse, but a storehouse. So here I have a regular 20 size storehouse, which now I can flush. There's nothing in there that I need. That was when I was doing candy canes. And here I have a 60 size warehouse, and actually everything in there except the bottle of wine I just made, I'd like to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and flush it. I mainly did this video just to show you and to review for myself. So I'm going to just flush it down the drain and let it start over on the next one. Now, at this point, I think I've shown you basically how to build wine. I've shown you how to do the water facilities, the mines, the silica mine, the glass factory, the winery, and what needs to be near water, what needs to be near energy. We looked at the Cabernet grapes themselves down here. I already had, I think, 7 or 8 of them done. But at this point, I'm going to just keep optimizing my town. I will upgrade a lot of my farmers to farm tractors. I will try to balance my trees, get things away from the salt, and move my water towers around, things like that. Now that I don't have all these stupid windmills, I can reorganize several things and make it a much more tuned town. But this, again, is not my actual town because my borders, I think, tomorrow are going to be different. So hopefully this helped you a little bit. And let's just review the chart again here. So keep this in mind. I call this, this is useful for your ratios, that to make 10 wine, you need 50 grapes. And you need, for example, 30 oak wood. So like right now, I think I got rid of my oak woods a while back. I'm using the oak that's in my oak storage, but it's going to run out. So I'm going to have to probably move my oak storage somewhere else so I can free up a spot for another mine. And I need to replant my oak wood forest or trees to restart repopulating that. So that's something I didn't show you in the video. We did talk about silica. We did chromium and limestone. Of course, lumber's every game. Energy's and water's every game. And then water drums, we talked about how it comes from a water facility. And eventually, when you look at your performance monitor, like if you're saying, I want to make 40 Cabernet wines an hour, so take 4 times this, you would need 40 chromium. You need 120 silica. You need 120 oaks, 40 oak barrels, etc. So just multiply out what your goal is to see if you can get higher to the next level in your production rates. Of course, use the production monitor over here on the left. And, there's a reset button there. So once you've done a major rebuild on your city, you just do reset and then wait ideally 5, 10, 15 minutes or more. And over the next hour, the numbers are going to become more accurate as it runs. And that is how you make cab wine. Hope this was useful to you, and I wish you good luck in your competition this week. I'm going to strive to do better since I'm going to be home. As long as I can start at noon tomorrow, I should be doing okay. And again, wish you luck. See you in the next video.